Next up, at UFC Vegas 109, we have the featured prelim of the evening. We have Julius Walker taking on Raffael Cerqueira. Julius Walker 6-1 in his career. He's 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that short notice loss in his UFC debut. Taking on Raffael Cerqueira, 11-2 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5. He is also looking for his first UFC win. Julius Walker's a decent dude early in his career. He's probably not quite ready for the UFC. But he got here because he stepped up on short notice. And now you're kind of stuck here, if that makes any sense. He is only 6-1. He has only been a professional fighter for about 2 years. His inexperience can show at times. He'll end up in some bad positions. He's forced to rely on his athleticism to get him through. He's definitely flashy. He's got some power. There are some holes in the takedown defense, but he's defensively sound enough to avoid some easy submissions. He's got solid offensive BJJ. He's pretty capable of finding something in a scramble. He's coming off that fun back-and-forth fight with Alonzo Menafield in his UFC debut. He's taking on Raffael Cerqueira. This guy's a patient guy. He fights pretty loose. He's pretty fluid. He's not really in a hurry. He doesn't chase finishes. He doesn't even seem to throw with intent half the time. But he is very dangerous. He's athletic enough to be creative on the feet, and he's good enough on the ground to hang there as well. He's pretty big at 6'4". He uses that size to move forward, get you on your back foot. And despite having 10 finishes in his career, his striking seems a little uncomfortable. He turns his head. He flinches a little bit. He's coming off that knockout loss to Modestas Bukauskas. Listen, Julius should win this fight. But Julius also just lost to a 40-year-old man. In a fight that he was younger, he was faster. He should have won that fight. But okay, Alonzo Menafield's a big guy, a powerful guy, an experienced guy. The reality is Julius Walker should win, and not because he's some crazy prospect, but because Raphael just hasn't seemed to be able to put it together. He's smoking regional guys. He gets to the UFC level, can't really find that same success. But the people who have beat Raphael, I also think beat Julius. So I'm going to pick Julius here because what I don't like is quite literally how Raphael turns his head and flinches in some of those striking exchanges. So Julius is going to be the pick. You're not going to see a bet from me on Julius. There's just too much going against him.
I'll fucking do it.
Jacob will do it. Why don't you go ahead and tell him why?
I'll fucking do it because this guy, Raphael, like you mentioned, his striking defense just isn't there. I will say he can throw a nice little 1-2. So if he sits down on a nice 1-2, he landed one on Modestas that was like, oh shit, that was fucking fast. And if he lands on Julius, we'll see what happens because after 2 fights where you're kind of getting the shit beat out of you in both fights, he might come out and just risk it for the biscuit. And if he lands a big shot, it seems like he's got the power to put out anybody. But his striking defense is bad. It's a lot of straight line back, chin up in the air. I fully expect to be a finish early in this fight. Julius will probably come in, push him backwards, lay on the volume, or typically he's a grappler. He'll grab a hold of him, put him on the ground, either TKO him or try to find a submission in that right. But those entries, if he's sloppy with those entries, Raphael could just sit on a right hand. But it is crazy that this guy isn't coming off like a crazy UFC debut. I mean, it was a sloppy fight that it was sloppy on both ends. He couldn't really get anything going in that fight. Obviously, he showed durability and toughness, but to warrant a minus 600 price tag, you know, if you're betting it because of 2 ways, not just because of Julius. You're obviously betting against Raphael, which I get. I did it, and we'll see how it plays out. Julius is my pick.
Yeah, I've gotten some DMs. I mentioned this in my quick pick video, but I got some DMs this week saying, why are fight odds so crazy lately? It is the parlays. That's why. If you're a sports book, if you're DraftKings Fantasy, and you have somebody like Julius Walker, traditionally, before sports betting was as popular as it is now, you throw out your line, maybe you get a couple thousand bets, and you're good. You pay the winners, you take from the losers, you're good. But now that everybody is parlaying the absolute fuck out of everything, and everybody's looking for $20,000 payouts, and everybody's doing Julius Walker in 30 different parlays, of course, when that parlay breaks, they get to keep your money. But they're only getting $5 when the parlay breaks. If the parlay hits, they're paying out tens of thousands or thousands of dollars. So Julius Walker, a fighter who historically would have a couple thousand bets on him, now, because everybody's doing 11, 12, 15 leg parlays, now he's in hundreds of thousands of different parlays. So they need to account for that, and these odds are crazy. Obviously, they set the initial lines, then people bet money, and then computers move the lines after that. But these things are programmed to assess risk. And that's why you get odds minus 600 on one side and then plus 425 on the other.
Lock of the week is so important to find that one dog that's going to win.
I agree with you. That's why people love it, right? People want plus money. They want to chase dogs. But where's the money in between minus 600 and plus 425? Those don't line up. That's not a 20% margin for the book. That's a giant margin, and they're keeping all of it. Some of these fights are outrageous, but it is quite literally the long tail parlays that are doing it to this space. We still find our spots. I've been up 4 of the last 5 cards. The safety parlay is the only thing that was the difference between winning and losing on the Abu Dhabi card. But the reality is there are spots to be had. I personally don't know if Julius Walker is going to be one of them. Jacob has a bet there. If you want to check out every single one of our picks, our bets, and our tools, go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member.
I like him over Udos or Gabriella.
Because his opponent sucks. I think Raphael is worse than Gilbert Urbina.
I think he's worse than Julia Stoliarenko too. At least she's got a viable path to victory, get a takedown, and she's got an advantage on the ground.
Yeah. No, I don't. Like you said, you're betting against Raphael, not for Julius. Julius hasn't won a fight yet at this level.
It's half and half. He showed he was tough.
He showed he's tough, but all Raphael's wins and finishes are against regional bums. And we don't know yet.
Everyone's wins and finishes are against regional bums until they get out of the regionals, Angelo, you fucking idiot.
And
you
neither
have to
one
get
of them
out of the. How the fuck is he supposed to have wins not in the regionals when he just got out of the regional scene?
How many of these motherfuckers get to the UFC, get 0 wins whatsoever, and get cut? You fuckstick weasel.
Yeah, but you literally said all his wins are, no.
Meaning he hasn't proven himself at this level.
He hasn't gotten the opportunity.
You shit knife. He's quite literally had 2 opportunities.
Shit knife? You have a shit knife?
No, I've been stewing on
one?
that. No, did we even figure out the mechanics of that thing?
What was that even from?
I think you sent it, or Josh the web guy.
Oh,
sent it.
no, it was that wild TikTok. Like, this is our poop knife.
Yeah.
This is our whatever. Like a weird fucking, you're like, is this real or not? Like, this is, we share this rag to wipe. We don't use toilet paper. You just dunk it in this vinegar water or something. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
It's disgusting. Yeah, I hear you.